Trouble on Dead Man's Island. Look straight ahead and you will see a 3.2 hectare island called Dead Man's Island. There in 1862, a settler named John Morton discovered hundreds of red cedar boxes lashed to the upper boughs of trees, the burial grounds of the Squamish Nation. He later attempted to acquire the land, but changed his mind when the future chief Joe Capilano told him it was a scene of a bloody battle in which 200 warriors were killed. As though in sympathy, future settlers continued to use Dead Man Island as a cemetery. Then in 1899, an American named Theodore Ludgate bought the island and announced plans to clear cut. This sparked a now familiar argument about the value of the land as resource, as public space, as sacred territory. The debate split the entire city. At one point, the mayor invoked the Riot Act to halt logging. The battle continued through every level of court. In 1911, Ludgate won, but by then the trees were gone. Unsustainable politics. By 1865, fortunes were made in BC thanks to the world's demand for the plush pelt of the northern seal. Sealing dominated the city of Victoria's economy for nearly 50 years. At its height, 122 schooners employed over 3,000 hunters, the majority from First Nations villages on Vancouver's island's west coast. Then, overhunting and lack of regulation brought catastrophe and almost led to a war. As seals became scarce, the U.S. declared the herds to be under U.S. custody and control. Gunboats impounded Russian and Japanese boats. Russia and Japan reciprocated. Caught in the middle, many a BC sealer wound up in a Vladivostok prison or marooned in the Bering Sea. The Kwatkilatal nation nearly went to war over the abduction of their people. Yet it wasn't a total loss. In 1911, an international agreement banned seal hunting in their breeding grounds, the first wildlife conservation treaty in the world. civilized result. The Fraser River Strike of 1900 marked the beginning of true union organization in the BC fishing industry and a big step toward racial harmony. The canners wanted a price cut to 15 cents a fish. The newly formed BC Fishermen's Union resolved to overcome lingering racist sentiments of the day and fight. A rally behind the canneries along the Fraser River featured a parade of over 1,000, led by an Indian brass band and addressed by a charismatic native agitator named Nedi. Alarmed by this unprecedented display of solidarity, cannery operators convinced the BC government to muster troops who became known as the Sockeye Fusiliers. When the militia arrived, striking fishers surrounded their camp, singing a parody of Soldiers of the Queen. A tense situation, but reason prevailed with a compromise at 19 cents. Camels in the caribou. Sometimes an innovative idea doesn't quite work out. In 1862, a syndicate out of Lillooet imported 23 Bactrian camels at $300 a head to freight goods up the Caribou Trail to the gold fields. The idea seemed plausible. In Arizona, camels assisted in rail construction and with the U.S. Army Camel Corps. At first, they performed well, carrying twice the load of a mule, though their soft feet suffered on rocks and had to be fitted with canvas boots. Then the complaints poured in. Horses stampeded at the sight of them. Judge Matthew Begbie's mount took off into the wilderness, with the judge clinging for dear life. The camels were vicious biters, smelled terrible, and would eat pants, shirts, even bars of soap. In 1863, the project was abandoned. Reports of camel sightings continued all over central BC for decades. Beacons from shore. Once BC's intricate, treacherous coastline required over 60 staffed lighthouses for marine safety. Today, about 27 remain. Once, lighthouses meant the difference between a safe passage and a watery demise. Today, with ship-to-shore communication, satellite technology, and solar-powered beacon buoys, the lighthouse is increasingly a relic of the past. But what a relic. Drenched in the lore of loneliness, devotion, and heroic rescue, lighthouses have become symbols of safety, trust, and hope. No lighthouse is torn down without a public outcry. Built to withstand the ravages of isolated exposure, with precise spiral staircases, ornate trimmings, and conical towers containing giant lenses capable of projecting a small flame for miles, lighthouses stand as monuments to engineering and design. Unlike GPS and cellular technology, lighthouses delight and amaze. In other words, they are works of art. The Great Railway War. In the early 1890s, the search for copper, gold, silver, and coal caused a frenzy of railway building in Kettle Valley in the southern Okanagan. A historic battle ensued between two railway powerhouses, Canadian Pacific and Great Northern Railway. Ironically, Great Northern was headed by a Canadian, James Jerome Hill, who had been a director of the CPR until he resigned in a fury. Profit is the best revenge. Under Hill's direction, Great Northern set out to beat CPR to it, build a railroad through to the coast, and funnel BC's wealth to the U.S. For the CPR, the issue was not just profit, but sovereignty. The two corporations declared war. See you soon. Bye-bye.